Now we have a video by Chloe about the 10th largest structure in Canada.
My name is Chloe. I'm 12 years old and grade 7. I'm here to talk to you about the 10th tallest Canadian structure, the Flin Flon Smokestack. I wanted to learn more about the Flin Flon Smokestack because my great-grandpa moved to Flin Flon to work at the mine in 1949. Since then, my grandpa, my dad, and all three of my uncles have worked at the mine. In 1974, the Flin Flon skyline was forever changed. Most houses have a view of the stack. This is my grandparents' view. The Flin Flon stack is 828 feet. The diameter is 67 feet on the bottom and 25 feet on the top. It took 93 days of continuous pouring to complete the stack. It cost approximately $6 million to build. It sways 6 inches in high winds. On October 3, 1974, the completion of the stack was marked by the flying of a Canadian flag. This is Mr. Fraser. He was an environmental superintendent when the stack was being built. Mr. Fraser, why was the stack built?
Well, thank you very much. Hudson Bay, in making zinc and copper, used to produce a gas called sulfur dioxide, and they discharged that up a couple of fairly low-level stacks, and it negatively affected vegetation and was also hard on people. In the late 1960s, both the provincial and federal government came up with standards that had to be met at ground level concentrations of this sulfur dioxide. Two possibilities. One was to quit producing metal, which of course didn't make sense, or perhaps some different way to make the concentration at ground level not as strong, and that way was building this stack.
To build the stack, they had to blast a 5-foot by 5-foot trench that would contain the base of the stack. The trench was referred to as the donut and was 67 feet in diameter. The donut was completed. The carpenters constructed the forms and rebar. The rebar was bent, shaped, and wired into place. A strong foundation was important for a structure this tall. Once the forms were built, they were ready to start pouring concrete. Custodians assembled the work platforms and the slip forms. After May Long Weekend in 1973, they started pouring concrete. It took 93 days of pouring concrete, 24 hours a day, 67 days a week. Only 3 days they could not work due to high winds. Their best day was 33 feet and their worst was 17 feet. There was over 5,000 cubic yards of concrete and over 250 tons of steel used in the stack. After the exterior was complete, a liner and the flue system were added. This whole project was to help lower emissions. On June 11, 2010, the smoke stopped. Hud Bay announced the facility was no longer feasible and would be subjected to tightening pollution regulations. There would be no more smelting in Flin Flon. These are 2 scaled models of the smokestack I built. The first is made from a sonotube and is 6 feet. The smaller one is 1 meter tall and made from a PVC pipe. Thank you for letting me share this amazing structure with you. Right in my hometown, the Flin Flon Smokestack.
Let's take a ride with Atticus and learn about transit history in Winnipeg.
My name is Atticus McElraith, and this is my project on the history of Winnipeg's transit system. Come, take a ride with me and travel to early Winnipeg, population 1,869, and a need for public transportation. One of the most influential people to contribute to transit was Albert W. Austin. City Council gave him a franchise, incorporating the Winnipeg Street Railway Company, and the first horse car ran in October 1882. Fares were 10 cents per ride, or 5 cents in the winter. Winnipeg was a growing city with a population of 25,000 by 1891. Austin heard of electric trolleys in Richmond, Virginia, and proposed the idea to City Council. They initially refused due to dangerous aerial wires suspended over the heads of righteous citizens, but reluctantly gave in, and in January 1891, acting mayor T.W. Taylor pushed the home switch to send the car on its way. This created more competition and larger routes. Soon after, the Winnipeg Electric Street Railway Company was born, leaving Austin with no contract. In August 1914, the last all-wood electric streetcar was built, and gasoline-powered buses began running on May 1st, 1918. In November 1938, the first trolley went down Sargent Avenue. Fun fact, in World War II, women operated Winnipeg's transit system until the men returned. By 1953, the Manitoba government owned the Winnipeg Electric Company, creating the Greater Winnipeg Transit Commission. Winnipeg's streetcar era ended in September 1955. Gas and diesel-powered buses became the norm, and in October 1970, the electric trolley era in Winnipeg ended. In 1977, Handy Transit was created to provide public transit to persons with disabilities. Winnipeg Transit continues to grow with the city's population of over 700,000. In 2015, most buses are diesel-electric, with 585 buses on 85 routes in the city of Winnipeg. A rapid transit system was introduced in 2012, providing service on a dedicated road at a higher speed. Public transportation is crucial in a growing city. Buses allow for mass transport, reducing traffic jam and automobile usage. It is a system for everyone. The city pays less for infrastructure because denser neighborhoods means more pedestrians, meaning more bus use, making less use of land, and allowing a city to grow in a sustainable way. Another fun fact, did you know that Winnipeg Transit has 4 electric buses currently operating? Maybe we were ahead of ourselves in the late 1800s. These buses will soon make up most of the system, a more sustainable replacement for diesel-electric buses. Rapid transit will be expanding across the city, and ironically, the last phase will run down the center of Main Street. Come, take a ride with me.
I'm here with Atticus. He's going to answer some questions about his film. Why did you choose Winnipeg Transit history as your topic?
Well, it all really started when I went to the Manitoba Electrical Museum, and there was this trolley there. Now, it was the funny thing about it was electric, and at the time, I was hearing a lot about how electric buses were going to be coming into the system. So I asked my mom, well, aren't we going to electric already? And that's really what sparked my idea for this project. And then I went and did some research, and turned out it ended up as my Heritage Fair project.
So how did Winnipeg Transit history affect today?
Well, Winnipeg's transit history affects today, if you think about it, without the first horse car, we wouldn't really have had the developments. And people like Albert W. Austin, if they hadn't come along and started things like the Winnipeg Railway Street Company or the Winnipeg Electric Street Railway Company, we wouldn't have had the other sub-companies that grew and grew and grew, and all the different things that became Winnipeg Transit today. So if you think about it, Winnipeg's transit history, it really affects the type of transportation we have today, because transportation today, we all know, is that it's very, very different from back when we had trolleys.
Thanks, Atticus. We'll be back after this.